Canadian government's set up pretty similar, except like your government's been just latched onto the tit of the U.S. government for well, fuck forever. Uh, 1900 or better, huh?
Yeah, that's probably because I think every party up here in Canada is literally left wing, whether it's
Yeah,
a conservative party or a liberal party or a green party. I think they're all left wing. I think the only parties in Canada that are actually worthwhile is the PPC, the People's Party of Canada, and I think there's a Republican Party of Canada now too.
no. Which one's the separatist party? Is that
Is that Wexit or the?
yeah, something like that, like the western states or
Yeah,
the
I think
western
it's like
provinces.
Manitoba, or yeah, is it Manitoba, Saskatchewan, or is it just yeah, Manitoba, Saskatchewan, Alberta, and BC or something?
I think so. Yeah, Brett was talking about it, and it's it's good to see that you know we know that like we all know that Canada's quite a bit more liberal than the U.S., but it's good to
Oh,
see that you have the same struggles up there. You still got some people stand up to it, so that's
well,
good.
yeah. There's few and far between. I don't know. There's some people you just want to slap in the side of the head. It's like how much more obvious can it get? It's like, well, I don't know. Maybe this could happen. It's like, what are you talking about, lady?
Yeah, it
And then
ain't
you
that
got
much different down here, man.
no, and then you got your Karens running around, ratting everyone out.
Hmm. That's the worst.
Or
Like
they got
say
they got
what you will about gangs, but they got it right with snitches get stitches. Like fuck
oh,
that, fuck all of
absolutely.
that.
Yeah, we just continued on with our everyday life. We didn't care. Like we've talked to I've talked and my wife has talked even to a few cops and they said even like we're not going to come give you a ticket. It's really stupid. We
Yeah,
got too many suicides, overdoses, like the abuse in homes now since the lockdowns. They said like the RCMP said they can't even keep up with the amount of calls that have been coming in due to abuse, alcohol, drug, whatever, and COVID. Nothing's even COVID related, and still the news just blows it up and blows it up, and it
mm,
just frightens the shit out of people for no reason. And I love the people that bitch about it, like steady, like oh COVID it'll kill you, and then they're in the fucking grocery store like touching all the fruit and playing with their mask, and
no, yeah,
it's just like how dumb are you?
pretty fucking dumb is the answer. Like,
Oh, I don't know, like it's just it's really showing me like who's would live and who would die around here.
no, I know it. I want to give humanity the benefit of the doubt, but boy, they make it really hard sometimes.
Oh
Like
yeah.
just really hard. And I don't know. It's man, it's just such a crazy fucking world we're living in, and I honestly do hate to say, or I hate to see what it would have been like without with somebody like Joe Biden in office, or I mean, it would have been awful.
Oh, it would have been bad.
Yeah,
And if Biden, like if he were to get in, he won't. Um, that would have been the start of everything. That would have been the start of communism.
Dark Winter. That's what he called it.
Yeah, that's. I'm surprised you can say that.
See, Biden and
Like,
Trump are a lot alike in that respect because they say things that you're not supposed to say. Joe Biden, for a big of a jackass and like just senile old man as he is, he's prone to telling the truth because he's just that type of guy. He's gonna blurt something out, and he does that from time to time, even when he's can't remember what fucking state he's in. Uh, but yeah, like that whole Dark Winter deal. Yeah, that I think that was not a Joe Bidenism. That was Joe Biden telling the truth when he wasn't supposed to.
Yeah.
Uh, kind of like when Trump talks about the military industrial complex. You're not supposed to talk about that in polite society. And that's probably the biggest reason why they hate Trump is because he says shit like that. You're not supposed to say that.
Well, I guess he says the truth. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. But and a lot of the shit that they get mad at Trump for, uh, like using his hotels for foreign dignitaries. He's 100% he's making a fuckload of money off of that. But they didn't impeach him over that. You notice that because every other single member of Congress catches kickbacks like that. So if they impeach Trump over that, then they got to impeach themselves over it, and you can't have that. So they just don't bring that up, and but Trump will call him out on it. That was his biggest. That's where he fucked up the most is he didn't play ball. He just didn't play ball.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't. I don't know what to say about all that.
Yeah,
I guess but I don't know. I respect Trump for just for what he says, and he keeps you guys informed, right? Our prime minister up here, you don't even see him, so
now I
like he puts you guys first too. That's the big thing for me. Our prime minister, he'd rather lick the bag off the communist China.
yeah I I guess coming from a point of white privilege here, even though you guys are whiter than we are up there, but we're a little more privileged down here, and I can recognize that. I mean, and I say this without a touch of irony, we live in the greatest country on earth. But I'll also say it ironically just to spite you Canadians. We live in the greatest country on earth. Um, but I recognize that we come from a place of privilege like that. So when I talk to like you or Brett or any of the other Canadian listeners, it's some I realize like how much better we have it. Like when Bernie Sanders is kind of like a moderate for most European countries, and I mean he's a radical lefty here, so like we've got it pretty good still. Even as shitty as it is, we've got it pretty good. We just got to try to keep it at, if nothing else, keep it at least this good, and hold the line and try to make it better. But yeah, when you look at places like Canada or the UK, and when people are actually getting prosecuted for jokes, that yeah, it makes me really, really, really grateful that I live where I live.
Oh yeah, yeah, you absolutely should be. You guys are actually you guys are in the trenches right now for all the world, I think, with exposing all the corruptiveness. And I think a lot of people don't see that, right? They just see
Yeah.
the Joe Biden and the Donald Trump collusion.
Mm.
They're not looking at the full picture. That
Yeah.
the fraud and the deep state tactics that they've been doing for all so long just to retain power and dictate people's careers.
Yeah. Do you have Audible?
Like on Amazon?
Yeah.
No, I don't.
Okay. Well, I will send you a book. You need to listen to it, or read it either way. But I'm assuming you're a busy man, so I was gonna send it to you on Audible. But there's a book about the Bush family, and how HW was a CIA guy from way back, and how his folks and grandparents on both sides, his mom and his dad's side, were very deep into the intelligence shit way back, and it explains a lot about U.S. politics. There's a lot of weird shit with George H.W. Bush and the JFK assassination that never got explained. Like George W. or H.W. Bush called in a tip to the FBI like an hour after JFK got shot. Um, but he was in Dallas the day before, but he made the call from Houston, I believe. And the only thing, and he actually implicated one of his buddies. It was weird. Like there's a lot weird, and H.W. Bush's entire career was like that. Like you could never pin him to anything. Uh, it was weird, but anyhow, there's a lot of underhanded shit that goes on, and it seems to be like the same families at the top of it every time.
Oh yeah, yeah. There's a family tree involved, that's for sure.
Mm,
All of them are
yeah,
related somehow, some way.
yeah, it's a weird deal, but anyway, buddy, I appreciate you coming on and uh, and just clearing the air. I like hearing different theories. Um, I would caution you not to get your hopes up on Trump. I think that train has passed. That's my personal opinion. There could be some shit that goes down. I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it. I'm not. I just don't. I don't buy it at the moment. Um, but I like where your head's at. You're curious. That's good.
Yeah, I
Takes a
try and stay positive with everything, right?
well and informed. Like you're obviously informed. So that's the biggest part. Uh,
I'm not, I'm not as informed as some, but I try and stay on top of it as best I can.
yeah. Well, and it's you're well. I can tell you're informed because you're going outside the mainstream. If I'll refresh my news app several times a day and not learn a goddamn thing. Like not learn a fucking thing. And you can make just you can make a quick search and find some grain of truth pretty quick like, but you can search mainstream media for hours and not find anything.
Yeah, yeah. The mainstream media, you're not going to find much there.
Yeah.
Um, there's some navigating with your DuckDuckGos or I guess your Telegrams now, or Gab, I think's the new one.
Yeah,
That's where you're going to find your fellow patriots, right?
yeah. Well, and that's good too, but like they all these social media outlets, they just need to stop censoring everything. Like just stop. Just let people say what they're going to say, and the good ideas will rise to the top. The truth will find a way. It always does. Uh, but you can't. When you decide what is right and what is wrong is when that first filter gets put in place, it never goes backward. You always put on another filter because this isn't right according to these people, and that's it. Just you create a narrower and narrower bottleneck, and then you end up in a place like right now where you have no fucking idea what to believe because nobody's calling balls and strikes. Everybody's just trying to get traffic,
Yeah.
and and nobody's saying any truth because you got to dance around all these tiptoes so you don't get pulled down off the internet. And that's a bad way to be.
Yeah. It's stripping you of your freedoms, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And yeah, you're fraudulently rigging an election, I guess, too, right? By censorship.
Oh yeah, they'll rail all day long about Russian collusion and Russian interference into the election, but not say a goddamn word when like my just me personally, and I guess I'm a political guy, but I don't have a team. Uh, I be 2 weeks before the election is when all these Facebook rules went into place. I was reaching about 1.5 million people a month on my page, and as of right now, I think I'm at like 200,000. But at one point, I was down 80%. My traffic was throttled 80% over the election. It's it's fucking ridiculous. Like if you're actually trying to sell shit and that's your main mode of commerce, goddamn man, that's rough.
Yeah, that's not. Now you're stripping people of their wealth, right?
Yeah, yeah. So as of right now, I'm at 210,000 is what I reach on a monthly basis. And before the election, I was at 1.5 million.
Yeah.
And I get the same amount of reactions and shares on the shit that I like my it's not like I just all of a sudden started putting out shitty content. It's always been shitty content. Um, but like yeah, just all of a sudden it drops off. But you look at the reactions per post and everything, they're about the same as before. They're not they don't have to censor you. They can choose who they show you to, and that's it. Like they don't have to kick you off to censor you.
Yeah, they only, I guess, only want to show what they want you to see,
Mm-hmm. Yep. And
and not
if
actually
it
see for what it actually is.
yep, it's they call it shadow banning because they don't have to actually kick you off at that point. They just
Yeah.
shut you down.
Yeah.
Yep. And it's ah
Ah, well.
yeah.
It'll
We'll see.
it'll be over soon.
I hope so. I hope so. Well, anyway, Colt, it was good visiting with you, man. I appreciate the conversation. I had a good time. We'll get you back on when all this shit sorts out. We'll see where we were wrong.
Sure thing, buddy. Well, thanks for
All right,
having me.
you bet, man. Take care, and thanks everybody for tuning in and move your ass. We're burning daylight.